What's good, YouTube? It's Man Joe here, and today I'm going to talk about what teams I use to explore threat level 5 for episode 1. There's going to be 4 different episodes, and I'm pretty sure one episode comes out per week, which I'm cool with. I don't have a problem with. I'm going to be exploring at least level 3, 4, and 5. I don't know if I want to do 1 or 2. But let's talk about the 2 teams I actually use for this. Now, it does have completion and exploration rewards, which is nice. This is what you get for it. And it's got solo objectives as well, if you explore all 4 episodes for a certain difficulty. Which we could take a look at really quick. I think it's under here. Special, yeah, right here. See, I got 1 already. You do all 4, you get a generic 6-star awakening gem, 8,000 shards, 6-star shards, and 500 of these, which I only have 200. I don't really care about those right now. And you get this for relics. Level 4, you get a 6-star awakening gem. So you basically get 2 6-star awakening gems this month, which is nice. Now that I look at it, I might actually explore level 2. It's got 1,000 6-star shards plus that tier 2 alpha. I might just do them all, actually. I don't know. Maybe not the first one. I don't know. I might do them all. But anyways, let's actually go in here. This is a team I use for the far left path. This is the only team I ever used for this path. You got to do this quest 5 times because there's 5 different rewards for the shards. I used the mutant team on this path. I basically, for this first fight, this is what I did. It made the whole path easy. You gotta do the right side twice, because you gotta go to the far left, and then it takes you from this middle one right here that goes on an angle. Then you gotta go back out this way. So you basically gotta do this far left path twice. So this is what the team I'm using. For 2 of the paths, I'm using this mutant team. Basically, I use APOC for here, because he only has Bulba Shield, so you gotta knock him down, which is easy. Then once you do that, turn Archangel to a Horseman, and you gotta fight these 2 guys. Basically, you got Be Like Water. Whenever he gets a non-damaging debuff, like a parry when you stun him, he'll go unblockable for a couple seconds. But Archangel shuts that down if you get some neurotoxins on him. You need to awaken Archangel. And then this one, whenever you gain a buff, he regens 10% of max health over 7 seconds. Archangel shuts that down as well. And that's pretty much it for that path. Basically, turn the Archangel to Horseman, put neurotoxins on Night Thrasher and Ronin, and you'll be good to go. Apocalypse first. And that's what I did for that. Now we're gonna look at the other 2 teams I use. I mean, the other team I use for the other 4 paths. Or other 3 paths, I'm sorry. So the team I use is these. This is who I brought. I'm not saying these are the best teams to bring, but for me personally, it was the easiest to do. You can bring whoever you want if you think you got better counters than me, than what I use, I should say. Now, this is the team I use for the rest of the paths. It's pretty easy. Now, you could go straight up the middle. There's no special nodes. The nodes, it just activates for Apocalypse whenever. But you want to go straight up the middle. I use a Mega Sentinel on this Toad. It was pretty easy since she can put heal block on her opponents or one of her pre-fights. Even if you don't get the pre-fight, you can use the heavy to change it to a different debuff till you get the heal blocking debuff. She pretty much makes that fight easy. Now for this fight right here, is Red Magneto. I use Torch. Turn Torch into a I almost said Horseman. Turn Torch's Nova Flame on, and since he does energy damage every time he hits you, even when he hits into your block or whenever you parry him, you'll get your flame charges up, and you'll deal more damage over time. And you keep doing it. Makes it a super easy fight. Then for Apocalypse, I use Nimrod. You could use a Mega Sentinel. You could use Nimrod. I use Nimrod. I think most people use Nimrod against him. It's a pretty easy fight. Now, as far as the boss go, we're going to talk that after I talk about this path. So that's pretty much what I use for that path. You only got to do the middle path once. And then the far right path, you got to do it twice. Same thing on the far left path, just the opposite side. Now for Torch, I use Torch with the pre-fight. He's not immune to Nova Flame. I don't know why he's not. He should be, in my opinion, but whatever. Turn him to turn his pre-fight on, and then every time he touches you, his energy damage is basically like the Red Max fight. It's a super easy fight. Now for this Invisible Woman, I use Omega Senna with her tracking debuff. If you don't already know, now you know, because I'm gonna tell you. Omega Sentinel cannot miss with her attacks as long as she puts a tracking debuff on her opponent. So basically, like, whenever Ghost is phasing, Kitty Pryde's phasing. I don't know if you want to hit into Kitty Pryde though, because I'm pretty sure you still take damage from that. Strife, whenever he's phasing, if they got if she puts a tracking debuff on her opponent, then it's GG's. You can still hit him. You don't got to worry about being missed. Your attacks missing. Hood when he's phasing. Basically, anybody who's phasing or who makes your attacks miss, she uses her tracking ability and then hits them. So basically, that's a super easy fight with that. Now, this fight right here is probably the most annoying one with this team, because you got to worry about his evades and whatnot. But outside of that, all you gotta do is don't worry about a special. Don't use any specials, you'll be fine. Obviously, when you use the specials, he put debuffs on you. So I'm gonna say Omega Sentinel is probably the best option for this. But if you don't know how to use Omega Sentinel, if you don't like using Omega Sentinel, that's fine. You can use the rest of your team. If you got Odin, you can use Odin. Just keep in mind, whenever you use a special, you're gonna get a debuff on you, and then he'll start evading. That's why I suggested Omega Sentinel, because you technically don't need it. You can just use your heavy attacks and then your mediums to put debuffs on him and whatnot. But you can use wherever. I use a combination of my teams because his evade, man, is annoying. But you don't have to break. You can swap one of these champs out. Like, if you don't want to use Omega Sentinel, if you just want to use like Shang-Chi, for example, he'd be really good against this guy since he counters evade, or anybody that stops him from evading. You'd be good to go. Or you can just use Archangel if you want, since that shuts him down. Now, the final boss. I'm going to show you some footage real quick, and then I'll show you why he's pretty good. Actually, before we do that, let's talk about the notes he has. He's got heavy-handed. The damage of the defender's special attacks 1 and 2 increased by 100%. 130% by their armor rating. Counter-Strike. Basically, whenever you use dexterity against him, you'll get a fury buff, and at 7 fury buffs, all of them are removed. And then he becomes unblockable for 12 seconds. Shank. Whenever you hit into his block, you'll gain a bleed debuff. And piercing, you gain a lot of damage from him hitting into your block. And I use Angela with the Odin pre-fights for that, and I'm gonna show you a video of what I did and how to easily fight him. You can use anybody for this fight, honestly. Especially somebody who's bleed immune. That's really what you want to bring. Otherwise, you're gonna be dealing a lot. You're gonna be taking a lot of damage. But yeah, let's show the fight with Angela. All right, so now we're in this Yondu boss fight. You want to bring a bleed immune because every time you hit into his block, you gain a bleed debuff, which kind of hurts. I don't know. I haven't seen it, how much damage it does over time. Maybe it's not that much, but I'm not risking it. I use Angela with Odin pre-fight, so that way any damage over time debuffs don't get put on me. Remember, if you dex him 7 times, those passive fury buffs will be removed, and then he'll go unblockable for 12 seconds. So you can gain those fury buffs. See him right there. I'm getting bleed whenever I hit into the block, but I'm not getting it because of Angela's sig ability. But you can gain it for yourself to give yourself a little bit extra power, which is what I'm doing here. Just back away. Play it like a stun immune fight if you could, because you do take a good amount of block damage because of those piercing buffs he has. But Angela's a beast. This is a rank 3 Sig 200 Angela. She does not have to be max Sig if you got the older pre-fights. The higher the Sig, the better, obviously, but she doesn't need it. For the most part, as long as you got a bunch of buffs on you, you'll be fine. Baiting out the SP1. See, I got the bleed right there, but another bleed right there, but I'm not getting it because Angela doesn't gain those debuffs. But she has a bunch of fury, a bunch of buffs in general, and I take them out right there. So it's pretty much easy. Bring a bleed immune champ, fight like they're stun immune, and that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Until next time.